grab a mic. Here's what we want to do. Probably hit it. Good. Thank y'all. Appreciate you. Whoever's on, temperature use this mic. Check 1, 2. There you go. Outstanding. Outstanding. Now we're rebuilding our dead church. The good thing is we're not dead no more. We're dying. Around here, man, people clapping. Dead means your doors are closed at any time. Anytime, right? Anytime, okay? If y'all have this feed, share it real quick. Share this feed. Do me a favor, because it's not for popularity. Because we're about to do something. We're being very transparent, and there are a lot of dying churches out there that if they won't be transparent, at least they can look at our transparency and learn, right? Is that fair? At least do that. Now, here's what I've done. I'm going to have Tempest come up, and she's going to tell us some stuff, tell me some stuff that you're not accustomed to. But I hired her and her company for that reason. Everybody got it? So let me tell you what's going on. Tim and I started business together a long time ago, and we went on the same path and then 2 different paths. Okay? I like money. Amen. Amen. And so I went on the marketing sales path. Tempest, with administrative gifts, went on company growth path with an emphasis in nonprofits. Years ago, right? And this church obviously is a nonprofit. Therefore, I said, Tempest, I don't need you to be my assistant no more. And she was like, wait a minute now. You know. And I told her what I need to do. I said, I need you to operate outside the church. You keep your membership, but I don't need you to have any church duties. And I told her this. I said, my eyes are too old. I'm a pastor. I've been here too long. And I can't see what's wrong because my eyes are too old. Amen? Mm-hmm. And at the same time, there are many things I can see what's wrong, and I can fix them right now. And my sermons are going to suck. Y'all get it? Mm-hmm. I can't focus on all these other things and then still write sermons, pastor, visits. I can't. It just doesn't work that way. So I said, Tempest, what I need you to do is I need you to monitor everything in the church. Tell us what needs to be fixed. Visit some bigger churches. On her own, she started visiting some bigger churches, some alive churches, and all the stuff like that. And then I told Sparkle, put the camera on Sparkle real quick for me. I told Sparkle, right there, wave your hand. And I told Deanna, who is doing some Martha stuff. Come on over here, Martha. Okay, put the camera on Martha. Yeah, no, you good. Okay. Camera on Martha. There's Martha. Okay, that's Deanna. That's a biblical story. And hit great. Let's see. Pop. You can handle that. I think she wants you to pass it around to other people. Oh, for me? That's right. Yeah, well, Tempest might need it or something. Okay. I think when I hold it right here, it does that. What does it say? Oh. And I said, I need you two to monitor all the environment, from the parking lot to also, I think you catch that like episode 1 or 2 or 2 maybe. And they did that. And there was one problem, Pastor. Nobody was monitoring the pastor. I know when I say something, right? Nobody was monitoring me. Right. So I said, Tempest, what I need you to do is monitor me. Okay? Of course, members always monitor, but I mean from a micromanagement. So now she helps me with my strong call to action. Last week, I didn't do offering so well. She was like, hey, you want to, you know what I'm saying? Hey. Yeah. Sometimes I just forget offering all together. That's why Deacon Papa just jump up. He just jump up and start doing it. Because I'm so focused on something else and I'm not. And she minds me with that. Therefore, I said all that to say this one thing. And I'm not going to say anything else until you will see her. She's going to make some corrections for the church. Some of them may even be corrections for the pastor. Don't trip. I know you've been raised in the church all your life. Amen? No. It's hard for someone born and raised Baptist to let a member, let alone a woman, don't get it twisted. Don't act like we don't live in America. make changes.
Yeah.
Well, I know y'all there. Come on now. You understand? Breaking all the rules. You understand? It's hard to have some woman come up here and say, y'all need to do this. Well, wait a minute now. And I want you, but actually, you audience, you don't have to receive it. Right? Y'all automatically gonna receive it because we got, you got the same culture. But I do want to set that standard. I want to make you know that, and here's what we're doing. And we're paying her company. Because, yes, she makes non-profit profit. I'll tell you how we're doing it. I'm full transparent. After every month, we take 10% of the offering, no matter what it is, and we tie that to her company.
Right.
Amen.
And I told her that I'm not putting a cap on this. Fix us. The more we get, the more your company. Right. That's what Jesus would do.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying? So we pay for these services, and every 3 months, is it 3 months? Well, anyway, I'll let her say that. We have growth meetings. Is this one of them, or is this a prelude to one of them? All right, I'm talking too much. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Tempest S. Smith, thank you. Come on up. Tempest S. Smith. Come on up.
That is hilarious. Yeah, because I'm going to use that.
All right, there you go right there if you want to do it that way.
Yes, I do.
And we'll put a mic in the crowd. So if you ask y'all something, just pass it around. It's off right now.
She's all homeless.
Okay, cool. The rest of those you can pass out. Pastor Smith, your presence is requested. Just need something to drink. I'll wait till you get your drink. I didn't say leave. I'm kidding. I didn't say leave though. Where is
I'm obedient.
No, you're fine.
I'm submitting.
This one is.
Just sweat all my water out.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I wasn't sure that I was to ask first.
Okay. Have your way, Tempest. In fact, I'm
Okay.
gonna sit back here so I know I won't sit.
Your voice is requested.
Okay.
Okay. So, first of all, good morning.
Morning.
I want to thank Pastor Antonio, Pastor Tony,
Whatever you want to call me.
Pastor Antonio T. Smith Jr. for asking me to do this. I did not want to do this. I wanted to stay in my lane and mind my business. But ironically, what he asked me to do is something that God had already been talking to me about. I just wasn't really willing to accept it because he just said I'm a woman. And what do I look like coming up in some man's church telling a man, hey, you ain't doing some things right? So I have been born and raised Baptist, and just some things you don't do. This is one of those things that you don't do. So I'm all the way out of my element, but I thank you, Pastor Antonio,
Yes, ma'am.
for allowing me to do this and pushing me, like you always do, into something that I don't want to do. But nevertheless, we are here.
Make that work.
So I want to say that, have I been your growth advisor for a month? About a month or so?
Yeah, we've already made some good stuff.
For a month, I thought about this meeting. And for a month, I was ready, and then something would happen. So we didn't have a meeting. And then I was ready for, during a meeting, and then something happened. Didn't have my part of the meeting. So as I'm sitting here, I'm asking God, okay, what is it that you want me to say? What is it that you want me to do? The agenda changed. It kept changing. It kept changing. It kept changing. And ironically, it changed while I was sitting in church today.
Look at that.
Okay, so it's not going to be as harsh. It wasn't going to be harsh to begin with, but it's not going to be as harsh as it was going to be. Because ironically, Pastor Antonio, your message was basically everything that needed to be said.
Praise God.
So I'm going to start off with something that I never do out loud. I'm going to pray out loud.
All right.
I don't pray out loud. I talk to God, just me and him. I do not like spotlights. I don't like microphones. But I feel that it's important for us to set the tone for what's about to happen in this place, okay? So we're gonna pray. I am going to tell you that I talk to God like I talk to everybody else. So if you don't hear a lot of churchy lingo in my prayer, I'm being who I am with my God, okay? Nothing's wrong with that. Just being me, okay? So we're gonna pray. Then we're going to get into the agenda. If you know me, I don't talk long. I have a 20-minute clock in my head. I don't plan on being here long at all. Okay? So let's pray. God, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you for these people who are bold enough to raise a dying church.
Yeah.
Thank you for this church. Thank you for these leaders who are giving me their Saturday, part of their Saturday. Thank you for a pastor who is willing to receive help, willing and is able to grow this church. Thank you for a pastor with a vision. Thank you for a pastor who is obedient to your word. Thank you for a pastor who is willing to step aside and allow other people to give him direction that comes from you. Thank you for the leaders who are here. Thank you for those, and I'll go out on them. Thank you for the leaders who were here and are not here anymore.
Man,
Because they taught us some things.
it is a blessing.
They showed us some things. And we get to learn, not just from those who are here, we get to learn from everybody. I thank you in advance for this, for this great meeting. I thank you in advance for what you're about to do inside of the church for the unchurched. I thank you in advance for filling this church up with the people that you have called us to go after. I thank you for increased finances. I thank you for businesses that are already being birthed inside of this church. I thank you for allowing us to be a resource for this community. Thank you for an outward focused church. Thank you for members who are willing to help. Thank you in advance for people we don't know that are on the way. And thank you for a pastor who is willing to drive 2+ hours to come fellowship with us. Because you know we can't get people across the street to fellowship with us. So thank you for kingdom-minded people. Thank you for growing-minded people. And thank you for just being who you are.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for this day. Thank you for the next 6 months, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plans that we got going on here.
Yes,
Yeah.
I expect you to do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Amen.
I expect
Amen.
that you will do what you say you will do. And if God, if there are any egos in this place, there's anyone sitting here with some pride that is not in alignment with the goals and the mission of this church, I ask that you make it so uncomfortable
Yes.
that they got to go. Because God, we don't have time for foolishness. We don't have time for egos. We don't have time for attitudes. We don't have time for leaders who want leadership positions but don't want to do the work. We don't have time for members who are gossip focused and not gospel focused.
All right.
So thank you for casting out whatever demons that think they're going to come this way. Thank you for keeping them on the outside. Let them stay wherever they are. But God, this church will be filled with people focused on you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So I said that. I'm switching. I said that gossip part. Because people are talking about the church for the unchurched. Pastor Antonio, people are talking about you.
Good.
And do I want to say this? Yes. Brace yourself. People are gossiping about you in this church, and some are bold enough to come to you with the information. I'm asking, well, not asking, but prepping you all to not accept the bones that dogs bring to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because if they're bold enough to talk to you about what's being said about you, best believe they are talking about you out in the streets. And they just want to come back here to get enough information to take back out there. So mind your gardens, I say. Mind your circles. And just be careful of snakes in the grass. Okay? So, that had nothing to do with this meeting. I just felt like it needs to be said.
Amen.
So, what this meeting is about, I want you all to know what you can expect from me. I have some requests from you all. I asked your pastor about a month ago to give me some goals that he has for this church. He gave them to me very quickly, within 5 minutes. I was expecting a couple of hours, but he did what he had to do. The goals are aggressive because you have an aggressive pastor. So that means there's work. Somebody said yes. That means that there's work to be done. So moving forward, this is no longer going to be a comfortable environment for you.
Yes, amen. Yes, amen.
Because comfort zone got you where you are.
Right. Dead church is comfortable.
A dead church is a comfortable church. So expect me to get on your last nerve
Yes, ma'am.
and make you grow. Because growing is not a comfortable thing. Growing physically is not comfortable, but showing up growing spiritually ain't growth pains, ain't comfortable.
Amen.
So, Pastor Antonio mentioned that he and I started a business together. We also planted this church together. And he said that he has old eyes. We have old eyes when it comes to this church. So about a year ago, I would say maybe 9 months ago, I left this church. Why, I won't get into. But I left this church. I stopped driving down. I would watch online. Then I went from watching online to like, let me hit like so it looked like I'm watching online, but then let me go back to sleep. And it went from that to just no interaction whatsoever. And I felt guilty and I didn't understand it. But now I know that God was prepping me for this position. Because I have fresher eyes than you all. So I see things a little differently, okay? So what you can expect from me. Pastor Antonio called me, y'all, while I am on 45 at like 5:15 p.m. That means I'm in traffic. And he calls me and he says, I have an idea. And I was like, oh Lord. Oh Lord, you have an idea. So he told me that no longer wanted me to be his assistant. I protested. And then he said, wait, I got a better plan for you. I didn't want to hear that, right? Because I was comfortable being an assistant, wait for it, not having to do anything in this church. Right?
Yeah.
I was comfortable assisting a dead church. So he said, I want you to be my growth advisor. And I was like, what does that mean? And in his famous word, I don't know, you figure it out. Sir.
It's pastoring, y'all.
Disrespectful. So after a 45-minute conversation, he said that he needed help with growing memberships. He wanted to focus on baptisms and money. Because what church don't need money, okay? So it sounds simple. Oh, I'm going to help you grow members. I'm going to help you baptize people. And I'm going to do fundraisers. Boom. And wrong. God was like, you thought this was fun. You thought that this was going to be 1, 2, 3. It's a lot that is involved in growing membership. It's a lot involved in developing systems or whatever to get people to baptism. And it is hard. Can you say hard to get church people to give money to their church? Okay. So this is not an easy task. Please pray for me because I need it. So you can expect me to be in those areas. And Pastor Antonio, kept saying that I am involved all around the church. So I'm not just looking at your membership. I'm not just looking at whether you baptize somebody this month or not. I'm not looking at just the budget. I'm looking at what ministries you're going to create. I'm looking at future life groups you're going to create. I'm looking at, I'm looking at the way you preach it, how people respond to it. I'm looking at your social media posts. I'm looking at how people react when they hear church or the unchurched. I'm looking at literally everything, from the way it looks, to how many parking spaces you have out there, to how it looks out there, to how difficult it is to get here. Do people even know that church or the unchurched is in this building? Things like that. I'm looking everywhere, eyes everywhere. So expect me to be observant, which I have already been. Looking at everything. From the way their pastor dresses.
I saw you looking at that today.
Yes.
Now, can you explain them for me real quick about baptisms and why I had emphasis on that?
You say why you had emphasis on that.
Okay. Well, no. Go get the laptop and a long cable. That's all you need.
Oh.
Laptop and a long cable. All right, let me come up.
You want me to turn around so you can stay seated?
Well, she's trying to charge the phone so it doesn't go down. That's what it is. I was out in the rain.
That's it. Amen.
Just right here, though, right? All right.
We want to grow the church, but I'm not concerned with taking from someone else's pond. Okay, I don't want church members swapping churches. That's why there's a ratio that I had gave her for baptisms. That means, as a matter of fact, I baptized, most adults in this church were baptized by me because we are a church for the unchurched. So we go out and go get people who are not of the church and disciple them. So that's why it's a big emphasis on the baptism table.
Thank you. I forgot to mention if at any time, while that rain really hits you in like certain areas only. I forgot to mention if at any time you have any questions or comments, just jump in. This is a relaxed meeting. I want your feedback because I don't know everything and you all have ideas and they should be heard in the church.
Amen.
Okay, so back to what you can expect from me. I'm looking at everything. I'm watching everything. I am going to remind you all constantly that you need to be mission focused. I'm going to remind you all that your methods may not be the best method. And even if you do have a great method, it's okay to tweak the method every now and again if people are not responding to your method. Mission focus, which leads me to my first question. Who can tell me what the mission of Church for the Unchurched is?
All right, grab a microphone. I'm ready. I want to hear y'all say that.
It's on the table. Who can say what the mission of this church is? Anybody? Not Pastor Antonio.
I don't know.
Here you go.
Test.
Here you go. I see Beyonce on your laptop. That's awesome. I don't know it verbatim. Do what you got. Just your best to your best ability.
To make this a safe place for unchurched people. A place for them to be able to come.
I dig it. Anybody else? Want to take a stab? No. Pastor Antonio, what is the mission of the Church for the Unchurched?
To create a church atmosphere where church people feel comfortable enough to invite their unchurched friends.
Say it one more time.
To create a church atmosphere where church people feel comfortable enough to invite their unchurched friends.
So if you have an idea for a ministry, which you should, which will happen, and it does not align with what you just said, I'm automatically scratching it. Or I'm going to force you to tweak it to where it fits that mission. Because no shade, no offense, we have been comfortable creating a church environment where we feel comfortable enough not to invite anybody.
Right. That was good.
It's on, baby.
That was real good.
We have been focused and comfortable showing up, no shade to nobody here present. We have been comfortable being, showing up when and how we want to show up. And only talking to the people that we want to talk to. And going live only when it's pointed to us. And sharing that live feed when it's about us. You obviously can't grow like that because it went from you can't grow like that, and I'm not talking about anybody, but it happened, and I'm here to show you all how we got here because it's important so we don't make those mistakes again. Okay? No shade to anybody, present or past, but we have been inward focused, and the community doesn't know we exist. So seeds were planted. Unfortunately, we are all in that harvest.
That's right.
Now it's time to plant better seeds, pun intended, to get a better harvest. So no more inward focused ministries, no more inward focused groups, meaning we're only talking to us. That's pointless. I'm saying you because I'm speaking from a consultant point of view, but we have a great opportunity to reach a lot of people in Galveston alone.
Right.
We can't do that being selfish.
Amen.
Can't do that being egotistical. Can't do that saying that we're going to show up for something at a certain time and then showing up maybe 45 minutes later with an attitude. Too tired to do what you said you was going to do. Okay? Yeah. So we're going to be mission. Oh, I forgot to mention this. If at any time, because I am not trying to pastor your people, if at any time I step outside of my boundaries or my roles, just reel me back in because I don't want to pastor anybody. That is not my call. Praise him.
Say this again.
I'm paying you to do what you're doing.
Okay. All right. You can expect me to evaluate everything. Open transparency. Once a month, this church will submit a report to me that is focused on membership. How many people showed up? How many first-time guests showed up? How many baptisms did you do? How much money did you bring in? What worked this month? What did not work this month? And then your pastor and I, or whomever he invites to that meeting, will sit down and have a one-on-one situation, growth meeting. Pastor Antonia and I are friends, right? We are business partners. We have known each other for going on 8 years. God help. That friendship does not apply to these meetings. I can't be your friend and help you grow because I was your friend and let you down. Does that make sense? So that friendship don't apply. No, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to people. That friendship, that business partnership does not apply here. So he doesn't get any favors. He's probably going to get it worse than anybody else because I do know him so well, right? So there's no, Jesus gives grace. I ain't got no grace. Okay? We will do surveys. We will send a survey to every first-time guest.
That's right.
To ask them about their experience. We will send surveys to people who join the church. I will even survey the people who watch online because they have eyes that you don't have, right?
That's right.
And we're going to evaluate that and we're going to accept what they say. We're going to accept what they say. We're not going to be attitude, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. They do know what they're talking about from their experience. I'm not going to say that part. I'm even going to survey you all. I'm going to survey you all on yourself. I'm going to ask you about your pastor. I'm going to ask you about worship. I'm going to ask him to evaluate his leaders. He's going to do he and I are gonna do a 3-month evaluation. Every 3 months, we are looking at what you have done, what you have not done, and if you are the best person for this position. Because maybe we need to shift you to another area. Again, do not get married. And is it Andy Stanley that says that? Don't be married to your method, be married to the mission.
That's right.
Your method also includes your position. I do not want people so wrapped up in their position that you can't tell them nothing. You know what I mean? It's okay to move people around. So I talked about that. Pastor Antonio and I will meet once a month at least officially, but I have been in his ear pretty much every day, right? Have I gotten on your nerves already? You can be honest.
No ma'am, because I told you what the vision was, I told you what I wanted to do, and everything you're doing is inside that.
Okay, perfect. As we grow and new ministries or old ministries are recreated, like the children's ministry of women's men, all that good stuff, expect me to do the same thing with the ministry leaders. Expect me to evaluate them and make them submit reports to me, and then we will have meetings with those leaders and call you to the carpet just like I'm calling him to the carpet. No, it's not what you're not doing right. It's just if we don't evaluate it, we stay stuck.
It's quality control.
Quality control. Thank you. You can expect, has anybody ever worked in retail and had mystery shoppers? Expect your church to have mystery shoppers. I'm going to hire people from time to time to come visit this church, and they have to write a report and tell me what they experienced.
Fantastic.
Because I noticed that when I walk in, people kind of like, oh Lord, here she goes. I need raw data. I need a visitor who you don't know to experience this church. From start to beginning, from worship to what happens after they leave, to how you contact them, if you contact them, how often you contact them, okay? So expect those things. Finally, I am redoing your website. Praise the Lord. It is outdated.
Yes.
And it's time to revamp and catch up to 2019. So that's what you can expect from me in a nutshell. I didn't go over everything, but those are the highlights. What I'm asking of each of you is just to be open-minded. I'm asking you to stay on mission. And I'm asking you to become, or again, become a resource for your community. Okay? Any questions so far? Any thoughts, concerns? Anybody want to fire me already? It's not up to you to fire me, but if you want to fire me. Okay, so let's get into our folder. I'm not going over everything. I'm just hitting what's necessary. So flip to page 3. This is the part of the meeting where we take a look at church for the unchurched. So I asked your pastor for some data, and I asked him for access to some data, okay? I did this on or around May 26th, so things probably have changed since then. But I asked, how many active members do you have? And by active, I mean people who actually show up consistently. He said 7. Is that still fair? 7 members. Nothing is wrong with that. Please don't beat yourself up because there are churches who have shut down. Right? There are churches with just pastor and his wife and his kids. Okay? We're not comparing ourselves. We're not going to compare ourselves to anybody else. We're just focused on us. So we need to take a look at who we are. So we have 7 members. If you heard Pastor Antonio this morning, he said that this church has the exact number of people it needs. So that means if you are here, you're supposed to be here. And you have gifts that we need to help grow this church. So please don't doubt yourself. Please don't feel less than other people. If you're quiet or you do background things that people may not know, there is room for you. And then there's room for gifts that are in you that you probably don't know about yet. But we'll get to that. offering is what I really want to take a look at, but I'm going to skip that for now and go down to number of first-time guests. No, I'll come back to that. Since from January 1st to May 26th, we have had no first-time guests. No new members, no baptisms. Nothing's wrong with that. We're going to grow with that. But I need you all to see
Let me
where
stop
you
right
are.
there.
Okay?
Let me stop right there. Let me
Stop right
say
there.
something.
Mr.
Now, I have, she's not doing nothing I ain't telling her not to, okay?
Oh, Lord.
All right, I have her doing this, debating and stuff. I need you to get that there are 200 member churches in this city right now, in your city, with the same statistics.
Absolutely.
No baptisms all year. No new members. All right, so I need you to pay attention because I'm airing this out because I'm in Christ enough to say, hey, this is your church. Lord, put it out there because other people aren't brave enough to confront these issues. So she's not just helping this church. It's aired on the internet because there are other churches. Please don't let 200 members fool you. That means nothing if you're not doing any baptisms. We don't have no new members. We had 30 new members. No baptisms. We're not doing the mission of the church. You understand? All right, keep going.
Thank you, sir. So nothing's wrong with that. I just need you all to be aware of it, right? Because sometimes we sit in churches and we don't pay attention to first-time guests, or we don't pay attention to how many people have joined church since a certain date. So putting it out there, because as leaders, you are going to be responsible for also helping grow the church. Now let's get into this offering. From January 1st of this year to May 26th of this year, you all have given a total of $1,383.40. This is not new information to your pastor. This is now the fourth time we talked about this, correct? Of that total, 64% of your offering comes from people who are not members of this church, who I'm calling friends of this church because for whatever reason they either have they love your pastor. That's okay. They love your pastor. And they're not members of this church. They probably go to another church or they probably have situations where they can't attend, but they give to this church. That means only 46% comes from members of this church, which comes out to $498.02 since January 1st.
Our bills are more than that.
Oh, I'm about to get to that. So the 64% coming from other people in the church, not an issue. That's actually a great thing. That's a great problem to have. That you have 64% of your budget coming from people who are not members of the church that don't really happen, right? What you say?
Star Power would.
Yeah, on the mic, please.
Star Power would help with that. That's my
Yeah.
work outside the church.
Yeah, okay.
Joel Osteen.
Yes, absolutely. If you flip to the next page, I exported your giving from the company that you use. These numbers are what happened after processing transaction fees. So this is what actually came to you all, okay? I can't do that part. Besides the highlighted part, the highlighted numbers are your 64%, okay? Outside of that highlighted part, what sticks out to you on this page? Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
It's no,
Go on camera.
It's, if I would quickly average out, which I'm not very at now, it's under $50.
Okay,
And that's, yeah.
okay. I wasn't even going there, but that is a great observation.
Something else?
Something else. Anything else sticks out? Pastor Antonio, you can participate on this part.
I'm finna give her the answer.
Okay.
I think that's what she's looking for.
90% of the, 90 98% of the page is empty.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks out of 6 months where giving was 0. 12 weeks out of,
No.
I said 6 months.
Don't
it's
say,
5.
don't say it that way. Don't say it that way. Don't say it that way. Let me translate that 12 weeks into months and say it that way.
3 months.
Out of
5.
5. There you go.
Half of the time,
It's more than half.
more than half of the time, no coins drop in this church.
They can handle that math for 12 weeks.
You're right. Pastor Antonio,
Yes.
how much, be transparent, how much do you give to this church for bills, repairs, and supplies every month? Give me a roundabout number.
$2,000 a month.
$2,000 a month to pay bills, to handle repairs, and supplies.
Feed people.
Let's just stick with those 3. $2,000 a month. But your members give $498.02 in 5 months. If you were to walk away today, if you, Pastor Antonio, because people can't see who I'm pointing to, were to walk away today, or if you woke up and said, you know what, I'm not doing this church thing no more, I'm putting my $2,000 in an account, in an investment, I'm going to take my kids somewhere, I'm going on vacation, I want to spend some money on me, your church will be dead the moment you make that decision.
So then we're not a dying church, we're a dead church.
You are a dead church. Thank you, God was getting there. Y'all was keep saying, oh, we're dying. No, y'all dead. If your pastor walks away, you can't sustain bills for a month, for a week, based on 5 months of giving. Pastor Antonio, I'm going to ask you to be a little transparent. How does it feel to know, I know you know, but to hear it out loud from someone else's voice, how does it feel as a pastor knowing that if you don't withstand everything that you've worked for in the last 7 years is a wrap? What does that feel like as a pastor?
Well, I never really thought about it before until you, and I had other thoughts, but when you were saying it, my only feel was actually a thought. How long can that be sustained? Now, in my case, my money is automatic, but how long is my life going to be sustained to pull that off?
Do you get a salary from this church?
No.
So you are giving $2,000 a month to a church that doesn't pay you, that barely shows up, and if you decide to take $2 out of that $2,000, the church dies right then.
That's right. I've pastored 7 years, never drawn a salary.
Anybody see an issue with that? It is unrealistic. No, let me say, it is. Okay, thank you. I was checking myself on that word. It is unbiblical to put everything on your pastor, and including the finances, while you're comfortable.
Does that come with building members? Is 7 members supposed to pull $2,000 a month? Is there?
Well, let me, that's a pastoral question. I want to throw stones at you. Here's something you should all know. No matter what size the church is, you don't care, I'm sorry, you can't see it. No matter what size the church is, every church has the exact amount of members to do exactly what that church needs if all those members gave 10%. No matter what size the church is, if every member gave 10%, that church has a budget in the green to do what that church needs to be done. It's not about the 7 members. It's not about I make more money than you. And I told her to do this, okay? Because, well, for her, if I would have did it, it would have sounded arrogant, right? I can't say that. I can't say half of what she said because it would have came from me. But that's not the point. The point is it has everything to do with the fact that we are going to rebuild, and the Lord has charged me to help us. It's 9.5 out of 10 churches dead or dying, and no one's having this conversation. And if they are, they're not sharing it. We've never heard this information before from any church. And a lot of your churches that seem healthy are actually dead. If you ask the pastor, if your pastor has to get up and say, hey, we got to make payroll this week, that church is dying or dead, no matter what. Doesn't matter how big it is, if you got 2 services or 3. You know what I'm saying? So the answer, if all of us would give 10%, then I wouldn't have to give 98%.
Yes, sir.
You get it? Okay. There's a pastoral question.
I told you I'm not passing your people. I know the consensus side. That's not what God called me to do. So I thank you for asking that question.
That's a great question.
Thank you for answering. And I'm not bashing, okay? I am not bashing you all. I'm showing you where you are. And I'm showing you that a pastor who was inches away from retirement is now back rebuilding with you out of his pocket. So when people say he is business focused, not church focused, that is, I'm trying to think of a better word. That is,
That's what I'm thinking.
say what did you say?
It's a super lie.
It is a super lie. That's not the word I'm going to use. It is a super lie.
It's a super story.
Thank you, because my grandmother would be highly upset with me if I said the word lie like that. It's a super story because he doesn't get a salary from this church. And if he doesn't sustain, how can this church survive? So he needs to go be about his business so he can come here and take care of business, right? It is, I've seen this because I have worked with Pastor Antonio. It is difficult to preach to people while you are broke. It is difficult to pastor people while you're giving, and getting nothing in return. Am I inaccurate on anything that I said?
You're right.
So moving forward, we are going to create a salary for your pastor coming from this church. Y'all have a terrible response. Moving forward, we're going to create a salary for your pastor coming from this church. Because he shouldn't have to labor alone, broke. And if you don't work his business, people in the church don't. Okay, never mind. Moving forward, I don't know how, because it can't come from offering, obviously. So that means fundraisers are going to start July 1st.
Okay.
What's the day? 15th? Fundraisers are going to start June 16th. I'm not going to tell you what that fundraiser is. I have another fundraiser for a different purpose. It's up to you all. But every month you all need to do some fundraisers to not only pay your pastor, but to have an operational budget. So it's not coming from him, or when you need supplies, or when you need paint, right? Or soap for the bathroom, it's not Pastor Antonio, we need some money. Pastor Antonio, we need your Lord. Pastor Antonio, we need. The church can supply. Okay? So Pastor Antonio, no more. I am asking you boldly out loud. It's probably unbiblical, but God forgive me. I'm asking you no longer to be a crutch for your members. If you want this church to grow, you would do what it takes to grow it. It is not depending on your pastor to come out of his pocket. That's the way to do it. That's what happened before. And that's going to wear him, that's going to push him back to retirement. And if he retired today, then what? The doors of the church are closed forever, right?
Yeah.
Any issue with that? You don't really have to say so, but any issue with that?
I'll pay you to do what you do.
Does anybody have an issue with that?
No, not at all.
Okay, great. Moving on to the next pages.
Wait, you can't move on this shit.
Uh,
Sorry.
what happened is
No, this is your meeting.
I'm kidding.
No, this is your meeting. I want you to know something.
Are you taking notes?
I am submissive, okay? I'm being submissive. Yes, I want you to know that she went from May 26th, okay? Now, I want all of the members presently hear what she's actually saying, okay? I'm not trying to translate, re-preach.
No, go ahead.
This isn't a matter of what's happening. This isn't a matter of what's happening now.
No.
It's a matter of what we planted for so many years.
Right.
Now, did y'all see that first? Okay, so it's not an indictment against the members that are here. But I want you to pay attention because the people only talk about me because I never defend myself. That's the truth. You don't see any subliminal posts about me. I don't defend myself because it proves God can't defend me. So I don't do it. You understand? But if you look at the date, because I know some of the people talking about me, they were members in these dates. So the data you hear, you understand, they are equally responsible for this data. You understand? Now, just receive that. This is not an indictment of what you're doing.
Lord.
Well, I'm a pastor. I can say, I talk about this.
That's your business.
This is just letting you know that we are going to rebuild. We are rebuilding, and this is the Lord's church. This sounds like the Lord's church now. Anybody watching who will continue to watch, who is kingdom-minded, is probably thinking about flying to a different state to join this church. Because this is way past transparency, right? So before you end this meeting, you let that guest pastor say something. Before you end it, because he's going to say something that none of us have a perspective on.
True.
This is his first time in the church service. He shouldn't even be here today. The Lord made him come today as we would have this eternity. So I just want to say, listen, I'm not, please, in my heart, I'm not trying to take over. There's just some stuff that I know people are going to go back and watch, and I'm protecting you from the rewatch. And I just want to explain a few things as you continue. That's all.
Thank you. Pastor Liddell, you want to talk right now?
Wow.
What?
You finish up.
Okay, I'll finish up. Then I'll come to you. So prepare your heart and mind.
I got a play.
Before we get into the goals, I do want to go back and mention something or hit on something that you said in regards to me. I know that I'm not defending myself. I'm just speaking. I know that there are people questioning why I'm here, what am I doing? I have no business doing what I'm doing. I know people are talking about me. Trust me and God have had plenty of conversations, okay? Some me to him, some him to me. I am prepared for what's going to happen. I kind of know what's going to happen, and it's okay.
Winning.
When it happens,
Winning.
okay, but when it happens, know that I am okay. Because I am not up here spitting anything that God didn't tell me to spit out. And I'm not moving unless God says move. So notice if you flip through this folder, there's no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plan. Because every time I try to create plans, God stops it. Okay? And major roadblock stop. Okay? I couldn't even get to number 1 stop. So there's no plan in here. We're following God. Okay? Well, kind of a plan, but not like step by step. So I asked Pastor Antonio for some goals. 10 minutes, my phone went off, and I was like, what? I was expecting you to, wait a minute. So that tells me that he's in line with what he's supposed to be doing. I'm sorry that you didn't get to retire when you said you were, but obviously God has another plan for you. Just like you got another plan for me. What'd you say? What you say? I'm sorry.
I said, yeah.
Yeah, apparently he wanted me to embarrass myself in front of the public and show how we rebuild the church.
I don't think it's embarrassment. Oh Lord. Here we go, Jesus.
I always like to say everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a
It's a
reason.
blessing or a lesson.
And there it is.
It's definitely a blessing.
There it is. A blessing or a lesson. Thank you. Okay, so I ain't got to say it like that. Come on, Jesus, and work it out. That's it.
And that's why he's the wise.
That's why he's wise. Amen. So these goals did not come from me, they came from your pastor. So on page 5, in the next 6 months, meaning January 15th, you come back up here with something?
No, I'm just gonna show you a camera.
Oh, okay. In 6 months, this church will increase to 30 active members. I put in parentheses, attending in person
So that's by December.
by December. December?
Yeah, it's 6
December
months ago.
15th? Okay, sorry. So due date is December 15th. We will increase to $300 a week in tithes and offering. And we will have a 40% increase in baptisms. I don't know that number, is it?
Yeah, so how many baptisms is 40% of 30? 12.
So 12 baptisms.
That's very intentional.
Very intentional, very aggressive, considering, but doable.
Yeah, it's like 300% growth.
Okay? I'm gonna add to these goals.
By all means.
You also need to have at least 2 life groups up and running.
Write it down.
A life group, I'm gonna explain the way that I know it. Oh, you wanna say something?
No, I already know which ones to start.
Okay. A life group is like a group of members or visitors, whatever, getting together of like-mindedness. So say, I start a group of single women, right? And it's a few of us, and we sit and talk about whatever, and we meet places, and we hang out, and we become a community inside of this community, right? So there's only 7 people here. That means you're gonna have to go out to your community to get people to join your life group, to funnel them to become members of this church, to funnel them to become giving members of this church, and funnel them to becoming baptized believers of this church. So we're gonna use our life groups, those of us in the business university, as a funnel, as a sales funnel. Amen?
Amen.
I'm gonna push the envelope a little bit and say in 6 months, we also need to have a worship pastor.
Sounds good to me.
Because watching your pastor today, handling the music, trying to worship, then preach, that's tiresome. That's too much for, you know what I mean? He's doing it because he has to do it. But if you had your way, you wouldn't be doing all that, right?
No, I would never
You
be
need
pushing.
someone who is gifted in worship to lead worship.
Amen.
That worship leader is not in this building. That means you're gonna have to go out and evangelize people and reel them into this church. I talked to several of you and you said evangelism is what you wanted to do with this church. Accept it. Challenge accepted. Okay? I'm gonna make you all or encourage you all to evangelize until you're tired, and then make you do it some more, and then make you do it some more. There's a question. Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Well, it's on the vein of what you're saying. Can you create something that makes us report as a collective is what I'm more interested in, as a collective, and include the pastor and the deacons, okay?
Report evangelism?
Evangelism every week, because it's very easy to get out the habit of inviting people to church. So we can have something, and listen, it doesn't need to be embarrassing, it just needs to be something that we type a keystroke on or submit to some hidden box that lets us get the numbers, how much we invite people to church, and makes us actively do it, and then consider making this a digital way to do so too. So when our deacon has to be out, he can still type in the good work that he has done. I hate for him, the only way for it to be done is in person.
Gotcha.
All right.
No problem. Yeah, I'll have it to you today, probably. I forgot to mention something early on. I was talking about what you can expect from me. You can expect for me to also recommend, thank you for saying that, to recommend books for you all to read as a collective or as individuals, depending on your role or your whatever. Yes, you got something.
That'll be the other small group. That's why I had 2 small groups.
Say it again.
That
Will be the other small group.
Book club?
Yes.
Okay, great.
A book club when you assign us the books, and me and you assign us the books. That's the other small group.
Okay.
Because
That's
everybody's busy. It's gonna be too hard to actually get them to read.
Right. And, yes. Too hard to read. So in addition to books, I will also recommend podcast episodes for you all to listen to, depending on where you are, what you're doing, how it's going. I will recommend you all to go to certain conferences to learn, right? Just to see how other people do it. What I want to say, I am in talks with North Point Ministries, Pastor Andy Stanley in Atlanta. He wrote the book Deep and Wide, which is going to be book number 1 for you all. We're switching microphones. All right. I like that mic. Oh, okay. Which is going to be the first book, but not yet. If you don't know, this church was based upon reading Deep and Wide, right? Me and Pastor Antonio read Deep and Wide 3 times back to back while planting this church. So we are inspired by them. Now I want us to go visit the inspiration. I will invite you. So be prepared for that. I don't know when it's coming. Just be prepared for that, okay? So that's all I'm adding to the 6-month goals. Any questions, or does anyone else have any ideas as far as 6 months? Okay, next page. In 1 year, we will go from 30 active members to 100 active members.
attention to the baptisms.
I'm coming to that. We will go from $300 a week in tithes and offering to $1,000 a week in tithes and offering, and I added other streams of income. And we will increase another 40% in baptisms. What's that number, Antonio? Pastor Antonio?
Yes.
What's
Oh,
that
that would be
40 people have been baptized, and that offering only comes from the average per capita giving. That in America is $10 per person. So I mean, extremely realistic.
Being realistic, and that's why I also added other streams of income.
Research.
Because it is okay for churches to do more than tithes and offerings for money. It is okay to do more, because I know, okay? It is okay for churches to have other streams of income, other than begging members who can't give to give more. Okay? I am adding another goal here to have a children's ministry up and running within 1 year. Fun fact, you can't start on that goal the month before it's due. Okay? You have to be working on that now. Again, be leader or leaders of your children's ministry probably are not sitting inside of this church.
absolutely.
So you're gonna go have to find those passionate people, meaning you're gonna have to evangelize. Meaning, you're gonna have to invite people way before Saturday at 8 a.m.
It's still low. It's still low.
Also means that you can no longer think about your church only on Saturdays from 9 to 10:15, and only during Bible study on Mondays at 7. Bible study at 7? 7.
Sometimes start.
Sometimes what?
Sometimes we start early, but it's not something we can control.
Okay. So, you can't say, I want to grow this church and think about it approximately 2 hours a week, if that. Can't plant seeds of growth and say, well, just for this one time, God, I'm gonna think about church and invite people an hour before church starts. If you're reaching an unchurched, they're gonna need convincing. You're gonna have to walk. You're gonna have to have several conversations with them. You're gonna have to sometimes walk them here. They need more than an hour notice. Even watching online. I know some of us scroll and do stop, but if you put it in their head, they'll think about it Saturday at 9 versus accidentally scrolling or hoping that you share and they catch it on the timeline. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Next page, 3 years. In 3 years, again, this is coming from Pastor Antonio. I will insert my little tidbit. In 3 years, we're jumping up to 200 active members in person. We also going to jump up to $2,000 a week in tithes, offering other streams of income, and again, a 40% increase in baptisms. It's okay to hit this goal before year 3. As a matter of fact, I expect for you to do so. But again, you can't wait till year 3 to increase to 200 active members. Yeah, question? No?
She's talking about the baptisms.
Oh,
Yeah, so that means the increase of baptisms from 40 to 80, it'll be 40 additional people baptized, is what that means over the next 2 years. She was asking the ratio.
okay. So I have nothing to add to 3 years. 5 years, I left off something, so you don't have to write something down. In 5 years, we will increase to 500 active members. We will increase to $5,000 a week in tithes, offerings, and other streams of income. We will increase a 40% increase in baptisms. An annual budget of $1 million. And I forgot to add, but he did tell me this, just didn't copy paste correctly, have another church building. That's what he said. Because while this building is wonderful and we're grateful for it, it is a blockage. You know what I mean? As far as parking, as far as having classes, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna, remember I said I have another fundraiser. My fundraiser is all going towards new building. Because no offense, this building screams traditionalism and you're reaching unchurched people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of, from the outside, it kind of feels like, oh Lord, I'm gonna go to church. You know, and once they get inside, different atmosphere. But some things you can't control. There's nothing wrong with that, right? We have what we have, and we're going to be grateful and obedient and great stewards over what we have. But we're going to be working towards our own. So imagine a building with classroom space and plenty of parking and, you know.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And a section just for children's ministries and things like that. So nothing wrong with this building, but economically, at this rate, you're not gonna be able to handle parking alone.
You can't even have a children's ministry.
can't have a children's ministry, you're gonna have to be creative with that, okay? So, expect a new building within 5 years, maybe sooner, who knows what God has in store for us, okay? Any questions about the goals for the next 5 years? Any comments or concerns about the goals for the next 5 years? All right, next page, I'm not gonna really get into too deep, but I printed out population statistics for Galveston Island, and then if you flip a couple of pages, Galveston County. Anybody know why I gave you all this data? Yes, ma'am.
To let us know the amount of people we can reach in our city.
To let you know who you can reach in your city, to let you know where they are as far as, household income, to let you know what they're struggling with, to let you know their education status, to let you know what they spend their money on. Because if you're going to evangelize, it's not just going knocking on doors. You need to know who you're evangelizing to, how to speak to them. I wouldn't speak to someone with a PhD the same way I would speak to someone with a GED. Nothing's wrong with that, but you have to meet people where they are, not make people come down to where you are. Does that make sense? On one of those pages, it says, page 4 of 11, it says 2017 consumer spending. Remember I kept saying other streams of income? This is my vision, stop me, Pastor Antonio, if it's not yours, if it's yours, and we've had these conversations for years. This church should create businesses. Trying to be like Pastor Bill.
Do it. Have money. Have money.
Because again, tithes and offering,
Until we go.
I'm just gonna stop right there, right? It's okay for your church to have other streams of income. It's almost necessary for your church to have other streams of income versus 10%, 10%, gotta give. So I'm giving you consumer spending so you can fulfill the needs and the wants and the desires of the community that you live in.
What?
If this church is going to be a resource for the community, we need to understand what the community is going through. Okay? So I'm not gonna get into that. You can look into that on your own. Just know I spent a lot of time researching.
Yeah.
So that means I expect evangelism to be top priority,
Right.
along with fundraising, along with inviting guests, along with doing your job, along with helping your pastor grow his church. Any questions about anything that I have covered today? Because I am pretty much at the end, almost. Pastor Antonio, any tidbits you had? Thoughts, questions, concerns?
No, ma'am, just one at the end.
Huh?
Just one at the end.
Just one at the end. Okay. If you flip to the front of the folder inside the pocket, I included a Sparkle and Gianna have created the Faith, Family, and Friends Ministry. They are helping to make this environment welcoming. Because you don't want your guests to walk in and it's not a welcoming environment. So they're looking at everything as well, from the parking lot to in here to what needs to be. Remember I said budget for paint, that's gonna be them. So I printed this out so everybody can see, but to also publicly commend them for their efforts, because most people don't think like that. Most people expect pastor or someone to come clean up to fix all that, and they don't think about how the bathroom looks or how the parking lot looks or what the temperature inside the church is or et cetera, et cetera. So I want to thank Sparkle and I want to thank Deanna for being proactive and taking initiative and moving forward in their gifts. So thank you ladies so much. You're doing an awesome job. I appreciate you, yes. I appreciate you very, very much. Next, and then holder is something I borrowed from Gary Stanley. It is his Sunday checklist. So we don't have church on Sunday, so it will be a Saturday checklist. But it's basically what Sparkle and Deanna already do, just a little bit more things to think about. I'm not saying you have to do all of this. I'm showing you what another church does that I am impressed by. So from the parking lot to inside are the entry points and hallways free of trash, et cetera, et cetera. Consider these things as you're growing the church, because you may not think it matters, but to someone it does. To a guest, I think on here it talks about our volunteers easily identifiable. Everybody don't know you. They don't know that you are yada yada yada. They don't know Pastor Antonio because he's obviously the one up here talking, but they don't know, they don't know what a leader is or a volunteer is. So think about it from not just a first time guest point of view, think about it from someone who has never been to church before. They don't know where the restrooms are. They don't know, if I should stand when someone's reading a scripture. They don't know what happens next. So consider your environment through their lens. And then last but not least, you don't have to do anything to this. This is just expanding your vision. This is an organizational chart, again, from North Point Ministries, where Andy Stanley is the pastor. He provided a sample org chart for his church. I'm not saying this church needs all these positions. I'm saying, think beyond what's in your present. Meaning, this church can and will create salaries and positions and put people into leadership roles.
Amen.
Think outside of what you see, or think about outside of what you grew up as. I didn't grow up in a church like this. Me either. Did not grow up in a church like this. I don't even think we had an organizational chart. And I don't think there was a need for it. Pastor, members, deacons, trustees.
Be quiet.
Pretty much was the org chart. It's okay to create job growth within your church. It's okay to have positions for people to apply and interview for inside your church.
That's the plan here.
It's okay not to hire someone for a position in your church if they don't fit. I know that goes against, right? I know that goes against what some of us were taught, or, but it's okay. It's okay for you not to be the president of XYZ for the rest of your life. It's okay to have it. And it's okay to get paid from the church. It's okay to work at the church. So I am expanding your awareness. That's the phrase I want to use. Expanding your awareness when it comes to the way churches, ministries is done. That's why I'm here. Again, there's no 1, 2, 3 plan in here.
Right.
Because literally every time I started planning, I had not just a block. I hit brick walls. God was just like silent, like nothing was happening. I couldn't think of anything. Okay, so maybe that's not for me. Maybe we're supposed to create plans together. Maybe we're supposed to be adaptable together, okay? So if at any time, any point, you have questions, comments, concerns, reach out to me. I am available most of the time. If I don't respond, I'll respond to you when I can. But don't sit on ideas and gifts because you're accustomed to a church that won't allow you to use your gifts and ideas. We want your ideas. We want your education. We want you to use your degrees here. doesn't make sense to have members educated in fields and not use them in the church, but then complain that you don't have help in the church. I'm not talking about this church, I'm speaking in general now. It doesn't make sense to have it doesn't make sense to have people who are counselors or therapists Monday through Friday and not utilize their gifts inside of the church. Or to create positions for them inside the church to bring in the community. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, Lord. All right, Lord, you're doing too much. It's okay to pay people for their gifts. It's okay to pay a singer to lead worship. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. And I'm not the pastor, but I would love for this church not to become a statistic, but to stand out and be an example. Church as usual is failing across the board. 9.5 out of 10 churches are dying because everybody's doing the same thing. So if you find yourself doing the same thing, or speaking the same way, or sounding the same way as everybody else, you're failing. Because you're called for different people, not to, like Pastor Antonio said, he don't want to take people from the pond. He wants people that's not in the pond. And it's plenty of people out here, not even with the 100 churches on this island, that's not an exaggeration. There are still plenty of people on this island that you can reach. Those are the people you are called to come forth to God. It's going to take some work, yes. I'm going to get on your last nerves. Good, that's what I was hired to do. You're going to get frustrated, you're going to get mad at God because you think he's supposed to be moving faster than when he's moving at the pace he's supposed to move. Because Pastor Antonio said maybe you need to grow first before the church can grow. That's why you got 6 months to get 30 people in here. Because it don't take much to get 30 people. We can open up a club and people pop in right now. You know what I mean? It's going to take some work. It's going to take some patience. It's going to take some grace. It's going to take getting along with people that don't look like you. It's going to take being a reflection of this community. This community is not all black. Possible shade coming. I have been in churches on this island that don't reflect the community of this island. Don't be like them. That means from your staff all the way down needs to be diverse, not just in color. I went to Pastor Dell, I've been visiting churches for the past couple weeks. I've been to 2 so far. And one church has a deaf ministry. If you are deaf, here's an area just for you. Here's a entire service just for you. We need that kind of diversity. Because everybody's struggling with something. You need diversity, not just in colors, not just in education, but in what people are going through. And maybe you can't fill all the needs. I'm not asking you to. I'm saying fill the needs that God says you're supposed to fill. If God is waking you up at 3 o'clock in the morning with an idea, you should probably send me a text. And let's talk about it, because I am up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's talk about it. Because if God is speaking to you and you're here, then it's all connected. If you have gifts that you're using out there, you can probably use them in here. Because there are other people who need your gifts and also need to, I'm not going to say need, could use God in their lives intentionally. Okay? Any question? I'm done for real now. Pastor Dell, I hope you're ready because I'm going to pass the mic to you, then I'm going to.
That's the one thing I wanted to do. So come up here with me.
Okay.
Amen.
I'm not going to give closing remarks. I'm going to let him say what he wants to say and give closing remarks. That's the one thing I wanted to do. Now, this year I haven't made, there's a lot of stuff. She has what she's doing that I told her to do, and what she's doing is in her gifts. Plus I have what I'm going to do I haven't even told her yet. So it's a lot of stuff that's going to That being said, as far as the last year goes, there's one thing I want to do better that I didn't do last year, but I wasn't, anyway, it doesn't matter. I want to take care of our deacon better, amen? Amen. It's the one thing that, I wake up in the middle of the night with that, right? I wake up in the middle of the night with that. Now, he's not asking for nothing, but what I want to do is make sure that he has his medicine and his snacks. Because the snacks are actually medicine because they get the taste out of his mouth. They're, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Right? So therefore, those snacks are now ministry.
Yeah.
Amen? And what I want to do is I want to make sure that every month, I want to make sure that every month that we ask him, do you need this? Are you available? It's there for you for that reason. But of course, we need all your help to get that done. Amen? I'm going to say the word. You stay here, receive whatever he's going to say. Just do me a favor. And as a pastor, he's pastored 9 years. I'm at 7. Yes, he's at 9. You had no idea this was going to happen. It's just, you're going to kind of get up on camera when you do. But I want him to say what he said in his observation of what we're doing, because he's going to say what God is saying, and then give her her roses.
Am I sitting down?
Nope.
Yep.
I think I'm on, right?
Yeah.
Man, I first of all,
You come sit down. We'll let you sit.
I just want to come in here because I've been praying for the church ever since we got together. I came to a conference here, and I just started seeing, as I started praying, I'm like, this place is about to explode. Amen. When I got to my car, I just kept feeling in my heart, this place is about to explode. I went home, I told my wife about it, and so we've been in agreement for this church ever since the first time I came. So the thing I love that you did today, you openly said, I don't pray out loud. You set a new precedent for this church. This church has been lacking prayer. Not from individuals, but y'all coming together. The one thing they asked him, they said, Jesus, can you teach us to sing, preach? No, teach us to pray. They saw when he went away to pray, when he got back, something was going on. We were able to deal with this whole day and feeding all these people, doing all this stuff, because he was over there praying before we woke up. He won't pray alone anymore. You see what I'm saying? I can show y'all text messages where I'm sending requests to my intercessors daily. Pray about this. Pray about this. They sending me back what God is telling them, because I'm not hearing everything. That's what he's telling me. I'm not hearing it all. I need y'all to be in the realm of the spirit, pulling things in, because the church is spiritual first. Spiritual first. So I didn't know this well. Here it is. And we've been praying so like y'all don't know how many of our people are watching y'all. Yeah. Because I bring y'all up all the time. I bring this place up. I bring y'all names up all the time. They so ready for next week. They don't know what they're going to physically see some of the people they've been hearing about. Amen. You see what I'm saying? So I want to share with you, y'all are not in trouble. Y'all are not in trouble. You're in transition. Transition is different than trouble.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? We went through transition 3 times already in 9 years, to where you almost feel like you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can drive 18 wheel real well. I'm thinking, you know what? Close the doors. I'm back on the road. Multiple times. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I've been praying. So the thing we have to remember is, y'all remember, look, I'm gonna show you something. Most churches don't have this plan that somebody is submitting to and what you call it, have sat up and done this. This doesn't happen. People sit until they die and they'll find somewhere else to go. That's just how it happens. They'll sit, they die, and I go find somewhere else to go.
Yeah. That's it.
Find somewhere else to go. And that, to see the tenacity to hold on to what God has called y'all to do, my goodness, man. I'm saying, hey, I'm going to take a salary. I gave money back. Same stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here about to just wiggle. It's the same thing. And that's why you never have to question the passion.
Yeah.
Because when you start questioning passion, I can open up a drawer and show you what I do that you don't know that I do.
That's it. That's it.
Another thing he said was so heavy, I'm not defending myself. Been there. I'm telling you, we had to do some things a couple years ago. Whew, I had water, I had the rights, I had the energy, I had the words, but
Come on.
been legal, everything.
Flip a table, Jesus.
What?
What?
It was so beautiful. I would have bad days, my wife would have good days. She would have bad days, I would have good days. He was just making it to where we would just be quiet.
Mm.
The key to transition, especially when there's forces coming at you, is to be quiet.
My God.
When you're quiet, you never know what I'm thinking. If I respond, I just shared my thoughts.
Yeah, yeah.
The key is, if I'm coming at you, my goal is to know that you feel me. But if you never know if I feel you, eventually you gotta put your gun down. Now, I hear it. Just be prepared for U-turns to happen. Make sure you work on your heart. So when you see things or people or places that make U-turns to come back, make sure your heart is right. Please hear me. Make sure your heart is right. In these transitional stages, not about what's going on outside, it's about what's going on inside.
Yeah.
Whenever you're going through transition. So 3 things I'm gonna give you. It's crazy that our church is going through it again now because we're looking at doing more things. And every time you're about to expand, there's a transition that happens. And when it happens, it's uncomfortable. So he gave you 3 words: transition, trauma, and treasure. Transition brings trauma.
Yeah.
But now this morning I was driving over here, and I'm praying before I come. I heard him say between trauma and treasure is recovery. After you have the surgery, you have to have time
Yeah.
of recovery. You don't have surgery, I'm going home today because I'm done. No, you got to lay there and feel some of that pain.
Yeah.
The difference is, since you've gone through the trauma, you know this pain will end. This is a healing pain. What you're going through now is a healing pain.
Word for me, right?
You see what I'm saying? It's a different kind of pain. When you after you're in the recovery room and still the family can't come see you yet. He's in recovery because recovery means you need to be alone. You need to be out the way. You don't need to ask you a lot of questions right now. All that, well, what's going on? What are we doing? Well, I don't know what we're doing.
Mind
You know
jumping.
what? Close the doors.
That's it. That's it.
We'll let you know
That's it.
when it's time for you to come out. You won't go back there to the recovery room. We'll bring the patient out to you.
Yeah.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying? So y'all in the recovery phase, so everybody can't be in the back room.
Everybody can't come.
Everybody can't be in the recovery. Everybody can't be there right now.
You are
This is the
talking,
recovery
yes.
room right now.
Yes.
Man, I pray. Man, Galveston don't. I don't know if Galveston ready. I don't think ready yet. But I believe God is getting them ready as you're getting ready. They can't come right now. As much as you would love to play before, it can't happen. The oil is in the house. This is what it is. The oil is right here, so it just come out. You got it with the business part. Jesus pulled businessmen from their businesses. Jesus pulled businessmen from their businesses. And I'm going to tell you, when Peter finally sold out, he blessed Peter's business. He said, Peter, you about to go with me for 3 years. I know your family needs to eat. So throw your net now. Throw your net right now. Pull in a haul that you have never pulled in before, because for the next 3 years you're not going to be able to work. You're not going to even be here. So I'm going to bless your business like it's never been blessed. So you can focus with me for 3.5 years. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't see Peter came back and fished again and did his business. He was with Jesus. His business was taken care of.
Talk to me, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing I wrote down for you is this is your test, and it will multiply. You will have an eye for dying churches, and you will be called to revive them. This is your test. The reason why you're not getting step by step, because everything you do is going to be unique for where you are. He won't let you get a blueprint because you're trying to put that blueprint in another church, and it won't work. So
Yeah.
he's testing you to see if you hear me, will you obey me? And you write it down. Oh, I know how to do this. He said, I don't want that. That's where the fight comes in. He won't, can't she gonna obey me?
Yeah.
She gonna obey me.
What's up?
And after a day go by, okay, Lord, she
Yeah.
obeyed me. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
Another step, brother.
Be freely.
The way you've been wired, the way God set you up from birth,
Please.
you've been called to get hit, not react and grow all at the same time. Most people have to react. That's why they don't grow.
Oh, Reverend! Wait!
Get hit,
Watch it.
not react, and grow all at the same time. Everybody, because sometimes people get hit from the stop.
Yep.
Okay? Now, when I stop, I'm gathering my reaction.
Yeah, and I'm playing it.
And now it's on. And now I stop growing because I go back to what's comfortable with you.
Yeah.
So right now, man, all this, you feel like you're flailing in the water, that's the way you be. This church is exactly, I think we said, I tell you, this church is exactly where it's supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. The beautiful thing about it, man,
Sir.
I wasn't supposed to do this. I'm supposed to be a clubber right now, changing all. You know what I'm saying?
You all the way.
This place has a multicultural reach because it has a multicultural language.
Yeah.
You reach what you can talk to.
Amen.
If you can't talk to it, you can't reach it.
No, sir.
Y'all have a multicultural, different demographic, different age kind of tone.
Amen.
You see what I'm saying? At our church, we have 60-year-old white man, 17-year-old Doug, all in the same room, all working together. Old white lady, old Hispanic lady, old, just all black people. The multicultural reach is a language.
Amen.
It's a language. A lot of times we don't see it because we marry one language. I had pastors come to me, and this is what they say. They ask me, man, how you preach to white folks every week? They're the same I preach to black folks. Man, I said, you know why? I'm kind of transparent too. I'm kind of direct sometimes, depending on what they education.
Get it.
But if I ain't got time for it, I
That's
said,
it.
dude, what it is, you're not preaching. I told him straight up, we cool. I said, you're not preaching the gospel. You keep repeating a Black History speech. So that's why when white folks walk in, you don't know what to say. Because you keep preaching Black History. Oh, Lord.
Help
I'm
me.
out this room.
Repeat
Y'all know
that
that's
Black
not,
History lesson.
y'all know that's not something he would have said.
Sir.
That's why y'all the same.
Sir.
We're not here to preach culture. Yeah. We're not here to preach race.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? The word of God.
Hey.
I'm telling you, man, this stuff, y'all in the right place.
Very accurate.
I don't know the diversity of the island, but y'all on an island. That just intrigues me anyway. You're on a dang island. Let me tell you. I told my sister right there, Grace, she's like, who's your wife? I said, she didn't have braided thing. I wasn't for sure if I was coming. So I told her last night, I'm going to gather some about you. Like, you ain't take. I said, I know what you see in my heart, baby. You go next time. I just knew. I'm like, I need to make this trip. So, transition trauma, recovery, and treasure. Recovery room is for you. Y'all in recovery. You've gone through trauma. It may feel like it never happened. When you wake up and anesthesia goes away, you think it's not supposed to hurt. It's still going to be hurting. The anesthesia wears off, but now this is a healing hurt. Everything is getting back to the place it's supposed to be. So please understand that. Last thing. Jesus. I'm gonna say this. You don't have any human enemies.
That's right.
You don't have a human enemy. Jesus spoke of one enemy, and he kept calling him the devil. Your enemy, the devil. What the devil will do is pull you into an argument with the human, thinking the devil is not there. He'll pull you into an argument or fight with a human and make you think it's human. So what's happening? Satan has his eyes on this church. I'm going to say it this way, because God has his hand on this church. Whatever God puts his hand on, Satan puts his eyes on. So y'all, man, I believe y'all can hear the spiritual realm that you've never seen, because y'all are called to do this, man. Y'all are called to do this, man. And he placed the correct pastor in place. And I'm saying this not from I'm saying it because of the things he has walked through.
Yeah.
What he will walk through won't face it. Because of what he has. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get a rookie up here going through what y'all going through.
I'll be good.
You can get a 20-year, 30-year pastor up here. If he's not built for it, it'll drop it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And brother, when I came in, you hit me right away. The thing I want you to congratulate this young man on is that he moved immediately when he saw me. He began to tend to me. I'm looking at how he could have sat there, looked back, and kept on doing what he was doing. That hit my heart because I knew his sacrifice. He sacrificed himself physically to make sure I was okay. You see what I'm saying? And that right there meant a lot to me, man, because I had to rest when I got here, brother. I was like, I don't want to disturb him. I ain't trying to rest. He walked me to. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't a hey, it's so go that way.
2-hour drive to do that.
Go here. It wasn't that. Hey, go out the door over there. I'm sorry. I'm I got a long front in front of my the whole way. I'm impressed by this. So I'm like, I wish I could do that. But he walked me out, took me out the door, showed me where it was. To me, those kind of things are important. They're important because he could have directed me somewhere. He never had. I don't know. Like he said about blessings, man. This is a gem. This is a diamond in the middle of some stuff here.
Amen.
Protect that. Protect that.
Amen. I agree.
What she said about gifts. What she said about offerings. What she said about businesses. Man, I'm ready. I can't wait to see how this goes. No one who's behind the scenes has been held back. Man, that gate can fly wide, man. Right now this week we trying to do another deal for a restaurant. And we don't have no money. See, this is the thing I want you to understand. When I saw the numbers on the money, I remember us being negative. We started with negative $71 in the bank. Faith, prayer, man. We prayed about everything we still do. In our mission statement, it starts off with prayer. We got done. Right now, we have a preschool that's bringing in finances into the church. We haven't had to use the finances that the church would get from the preschool because the church is sustaining us. You know what I'm saying? So that the finances in the preschool roll back into the preschool. Now we're looking to hire another person. We got one lady going to college now. She's going to be like she's getting a director stuff, so she's actually going to school to try to learn it. So I want you to see, y'all have that right here.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to keep harping on the man, but God chooses men. We don't want to harp on the man, but God chooses men. When God chose this man, he put everything in him that Galveston needed. Everything Galveston needed, sitting right inside. Everything that's what your call, sitting right inside. Everything for you, sitting right inside. The hurt that you felt all these years, it ain't gonna happen again. The main thing about you is don't repeat what you know is wrong. That's the whole thing with you. You're finna bust out of the whole cage you've been in. But the temptation to repeat what you know is wrong keeps coming back to you. It keeps showing up, and now you see it with different eyes. So be careful when it changes the conversation. It's gonna be the same intent, but the conversation might change. It's trying to draw you. You see what I'm saying? The key with you is the temptation to repeat what has already hurt you. That's it. So you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Just stay. I guess the word I'm hearing. Don't listen to the luring. I don't know what that means, but don't listen to the luring or the little droplets trying to lure, because you're locked into your destiny. Don't let go of that rope. believe this, man. I'm telling you, this place is so, man, don't take it lightly where you are.
Yeah.
We started upstairs in a room that held 40 people. And the whole, and I named the next level based on 2 Corinthians 3:17 and 18, where it says you go from glory to glory. But since we started in a little upstairs room, everybody, oh, he named it next level because they on the second floor, they ain't got no church on the ground. He had to start in a little loft. The whole time. That's why I named the next level. They never do I name the next level out of the Bible. But they don't care about what you're doing biblically.
No, sir.
They don't even understand or know what you're doing biblically.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is to destroy us. The enemy comes to it. Who did he say the enemy was? That your enemy, the devil. The enemy of this church is the devil, not a person. So you attack him. You go at Satan. You understand what I'm saying? He's the one orchestrates the confusion, the chaos, and the craziness. Now that y'all coming up to this level, now then she said some powerful stuff that you said that doesn't match the mission. We got to put it to the side. My younger years, I didn't know what I was doing. Half the time right now, I don't know what I'm doing. Like she said, hitting walls, I done hit fortresses. Right? I just knew God had said that. He didn't say nothing like that. But I ended up seeing in my heart, I'm like, okay, trying to figure this thing out. So when I began to talk about business and church and doing these things, I'm like, man, they was like, oh, you going to jail. How am I going to jail? You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Whoa, what's going on? So I find out, create a different entity.
Yeah. That's it.
Really?
What?
Now, create a different entity, and the church is the only investor.
Yeah.
So the church is the only one who reaps the dividends of the.
Come on. Speak it.
So, but what I was doing, I was talking to people who didn't want to hear that.
What?
Right? Didn't want to understand it.
Didn't understand.
And so I'm like, okay,
Mind your business.
go in the room by yourself. So then the crazy, he's crazy. Something wrong with him. He's crazy. They had it out that, that's what I'm saying, the stuff y'all, whatever y'all hearing, they had it out that I was going to get my people to drink the Kool-Aid. Like really kill it.
Come on.
I'm like, what? I grew up in this town. Y'all know where I stay. What homeboy I actually tell someone, you know where I stay, you know where your mama stay, you know where all of us stay. I'm like, how am I gonna do it? What is going on? But what I had to do, I had to get totally away and just shut myself down.
Yeah.
Because I was a reactor.
Here we go.
I was a reactor.
What? Ready.
So I had to purposefully tell people.
Stay strapped.
Boy. I had to purposefully tell people, do not tell me anything.
Yeah.
Like, don't.
Yeah.
So what is it? Don't tell me. If you're not bringing them in here with you to tell me, don't relay it. Oh, he got shaky. He don't want to. No, I don't. But eventually what happened? Those people disappeared. And our life became better. God is working on this church in a supernatural way. Can I say something else to her? Don't feel less than. When you go home, quit feeling like you didn't do enough. He's meeting you at home trying to empower you. He's not arguing with, I didn't do it right. I need to know more. I don't have enough education. I'm hanging with these people that I don't fit in. I don't understand. I don't fit. I'm forced. No, that's not what's happening. What's happening is you're being uprooted and replanted. Yeah. So all grow into the pot you're supposed to be. Yeah, fresh start, man. Fresh start. No more fighting against your next level. And this time you won't sabotage yourself. You won't sabotage yourself. They got you, man. They got you. They don't know how else to say it. But they got you.
That came from the Lord.
What? I mean, direct connection, sir.
And really, y'all keep documenting everything you do. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. With all the cameras and documenting it, writing down stuff, keep making photos. Keep doing it because you be handing them out. They're going to come on. Because you're not gonna have time. They don't have time. You're not gonna have time to be. I don't know if I really want to. That's not what this is. This is plug in. Let's go.
Yeah.
Y'all have a whole entire state to deal with right now.
Yep.
You know, y'all familiar with the 7 mountains, teaching the 7 mountains? 7 mountains. Y'all in all of them. That's why you fight it so hard. Why you fight it so hard? The people, we start these businesses, you know what they're saying? All the money's for me. I don't get paid for none of that stuff.
Sounds like real.
And I don't get paid for none of that. I don't get nothing. My name ain't even on the stuff. I put, like you said, I put other people. And now, but what should we say? Nothing. But it's a lie. Don't say nothing.
Say nothing.
Your response means you heard me. You don't respond, you don't know whether I heard you or not. But the moment I respond, you know you touched it. Okay? I'm gonna go sit down. Thank y'all. Jesus, I'm supposed to be here, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm supposed to be here, man. And when I was sitting there thinking, what we're gonna do, because we believe in God, man, I believe in sowing and reaping like crazy. That's the stuff we got is from giving. The stuff we have is from giving. So I'm sitting there already thinking, I'm saying to my wife, we gonna sow $100 a week here from us. $100 a week from our I believe 100% that right there is on the ball rolling for everything else for y'all, and I believe and for us.
Yes, sir.
You understand me? I believe in so.
You don't know. That was real.
Poor people
Come on.
have adopted this hoarding spirit that keeps them poor. You go to a poor person's house, it's cluttered. You go to a wealthy person's house, you got freedom and room to move around.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And that spirit just rested in the church and we worshiped.
And we worship.
We worship. And whatever you worship, you
Wow.
So we believe in God for that, man. So we believe in everything that God is mindful for this church coming to pass. This is gonna come to pass. There's a prophetic edge that's gonna hit this church. That's what's gonna get the doors open. When somebody goes inside of your business and your prayer room and tells you what you were doing, and the Holy Spirit brings an answer that only you know the Holy Spirit could have brought, you ain't gonna tell somebody about what happened. What happened when the woman encountered Jesus? Go tell her.
Yeah.
People aren't telling because they're not encountering Jesus. When people begin to encounter Jesus again, the full, uncut, not religified Jesus,
Yeah.
that's what's on the way now. That's what's going to hit this church, the supernatural power of the Holy Spirit. And look, man, what I believe when I was sitting there, pastors, his teaching is about to go to a place he's going to be called to not be here. So somebody needs to wake up.
Yep.
Only one thing in the room. Somebody.
That's it. There you go.
I'm gonna cancel that
No,
one.
you're not.
Somebody
Uh-huh.
need to wake up.
Well, talking to you, light skin.
Stand up. You got light skin, I ain't do that. I'm probably you know. The call in your life has been how long now? Since birth. The call in your life is at birth. The words God gave you in the way that He called you to communicate is only for you.
Yeah.
It's only for you. He's gathering the congregation to hear what you got to say. Your congregation will always be here. But you got to start here in order to get the footing under you. You see what I'm saying? And the way you're learning to submit is the way you're going to learn to serve.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Submitting and serving are not the same thing. So submitting means I have to do what you say. Serving means I choose to do what you say.
Yeah.
So now He moves you from submitting to where you actually begin to serve. To where now, without having to hear what to do, it's done. Your prayer life, been playing with it, hasn't been locked in the way you know it should be locked in. And what happened, the enemy brought fatigue on you so you wouldn't pray. You're tired. You got too much going on. We have legitimate reasons not to pray, so He kept you out of your most powerful position to pray. You You will pray for people and they will be healed when you pray. But now he got to heal you. The next thing he's going to touch in your life, you want to know it was him because you didn't tell nobody but him. There's like 4 or 5 things you haven't told nobody because you know I got to get it from him. If I don't get it from him, it ain't going to work. So he said, I haven't left. He's conditioning your heart to receive what you've been asking for.
Yeah.
The pain you've been feeling the last 2 months, you've been feeling a lot of betrayal, a lot of hurt, things you didn't just, I'm just not going to say anything, just not going to say anything. You're about to erase all of that off your heart. Now the temptation to pick it back up is going to come. You're going to choose to do different as you hear him give you the instructions. You hear God. That's what you've been doubting. I hear God. I'm just sometimes like I'm just been wound up and just sent to like a little toy, just running around. No, you're a very powerful woman that's supposed to lead a lot of not only women, also men. What's in your belly is a training. You're supposed to train. Walk people through pain.
Yeah.
My goodness. Walking people fully through pain. A lot of times people start getting walked through pain, then they get dumped or they get left. You're going to complete it. You're going to walk them all the way through the pain. But the key is now we're going to pray that the pain that you deal with from others won't try to clamp itself on you. You see what I'm saying? You had an intercessor that needs to get in the gap for somebody and pray for them. So your prayer life is being renewed right now, today. You're going to take time and you're going to be able to pray. The number one thing he wants you to do is train him. Teach him how to pray. Teach him how to pray, because without him knowing how to pray, he won't get to the place he's supposed to get to. And you are worthy enough to teach him to pray.
Yeah.
You don't have to look outside anywhere else. You're worthy enough to teach him how to communicate with God. Your voice, man. Don't be afraid. Yeah. Thank you, Father. He renewing his faith. My goodness, man. Praise the Lord. Pastor?
Praise God.
Yeah. Your leader. He puts a lot of physical things on you because you handle it. Now, the spiritual realm, you're going to go touch things that God only wants to show to see. Man, you've been put in the right place to grow properly. Because your growth is wide, wild, to the left, to the right, it's up, it's down. You're a wild grower. I didn't see a straight up tree. I saw like and everywhere. So
I mean,
they I saw you coming out and you was just
lucky.
one day you good, one day you ain't.
Help us.
But you ain't gonna say nothing. You in, but mentally you ain't there. But now you're locking in fully because you can see the end. You see this. You see this. You think about this all. You think about this when you're driving in your car. You think about this. I see this. This is what I've been needing. It's pulling your heart so hard. If you look to you, talk about this all day. But you don't want to wear it out. So you just have to. But you this is on your heart all day long. You couldn't ask for better to live like that for your life. I'm saying for her. But Tivas is the kind, she'll let you bump your head. She's going to give you the ice. She's going to let you know you bump your head. Now, next time I'm not giving you my ice.
That's it.
You know me? Next is it's layers, it's levels. I'll hold the ice. The next time I'll get the ice, but you're going to hold it.
That's it. No
Okay?
me.
Yeah.
And the next time I'm gonna get the ice and put it on the table, you gotta get it and hold it yourself. She's never gonna leave you, but she's gonna make you take responsibility for what she's telling you to do. And what God is saying, just sit there. You see what I'm saying? And what's key with you now, you've accepted it. You've accepted that 100%. You're about to blow out the water, man. You're gonna grow wild, it's gonna be, it's gonna grow wild.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind, I'd like her to pray, because this is one of the things she's called to do, is to intercede for this church in the spirit.
Look at that.
That will never be shut down again.
What you say?
You hearing God and saying what he said will never be shut down again. That voice will not be clamped, shut down. What you call it? Minimized.
I fought you every step of the way. But now I understand why, and I'm grateful.
Yes.
I already see where we are. I've seen it, he showed it to me. I've even spoken to our pastor about it, but I didn't think this is what it was. So God, I continue today thanking you
Thank you.
for where we are going.
Yes, God.
God, I come to you thanking you for something completely unseen. I wanna thank you for revealing to our pastor that everything he has worked for was not for nothing. God, I wanna thank you
Thank you, Lord.
for coming to us today
Yes.
to let us know
Good.
that as our pastor said, it's over.
Yeah.
The fight is over. We're just in transition. God, you have put us where we are supposed to be. And I thank you for that. Because while we were lost, we are now found. You have cleared our eyes so that we can see. And you have opened our ears so we can hear you. And Father, you are allowed to us today. And we thank you
Thank you.
because we understand now that you converse. It's through you that we will be able to conquer every mountain,
Yes, God.
travel over every sea. And while issues will come up, we do know that you are our rod and our staff.
Yes.
And there is no fear anymore. Father, we are no longer afraid because we know who protects us. We know who fights for us. We know who speaks to us, and we know who we fight with. Let it be known today that we are not afraid. We are not afraid of the paths that we have chosen. We are not afraid of the paths that we have been put on. Because we know that our paths are exactly where we need to be. And our paths are protected by the only person, the only being, who will not let harm come our way. While we may have our trials, they will not conquer us because we will conquer them. But above all things, God, thank you. Thank you for answering the questions that we have had for so long.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for answering the prayers that we have prayed. And we are now, the walls have fallen and we cannot hear you. Where you have been speaking to us for years and we were unable to hear, we are now in position to hear you loud and clear. Thank you for pulling us to where we needed to be, to learn, so that we can do what you purposed us to do. God, we just want to say thank you. In every shape, form, or fashion, thank you. From the top of our heads to the bottom of our feet, thank you.